as it is equivalent to a court of law or high court, and very rarely do they make immediate decision or make an immediate judgment before they review and analyze all the evidence presented. I do hope you will apply yourself and guide us adequately so that whatever decision we make at the end of the proceeding or the sitting is not invalidated on account of unfair treatment of the accused, so to speak. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Mama Zamzam.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikuwa na swali, mbona aje saa 11 mpaka saa 2? Naona muda utakuwa umekwenda sana na tutakuwa na wasiwasi. Wajua Mheshimiwa Spika, giza ina siri zake. Kwa hiyo sijui mbona asije mapema Mheshimiwa Spika, tulimalize kwa mwangaza. Asante sana.
To Honorable Oundo, if you read the Constitution very carefully, you will see that this is the house where charges are framed. The trial chamber is the Senate. This chamber could easily vote on the motion after the mover and the seconder, if there's nobody debating it, and forward all the material to the Senate for trial. To the extent that we will debate the matter, and with abundance of caution, we have invited the subject of the motion, if he wishes, to come before the House and say whatever he may wish to say to the issues that he will have been confronted with. We are not obliged to bisect or dissect or respond to what he says. You are obliged to vote and then forward the materials to the Senate for trial. That notwithstanding, having given him 5 to 7 to speak, the House should be informed that should there be interest to continue with the debate thereafter, we are going to move a procedural motion for the House to sit on Tuesday 8th from 9 a.m. to midnight. So you'll still have time to deal with any issue. Mama Zamzam, mimi huwa nasikia ati shetani anapenda usiku, lakini huyo shetani haishi hapa bungeni. Yes, member for Kapchai.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving this very humble time, actually. Mine, Mr. Speaker, is a true comment. Your judgment is purely Solomonic. You have made a decision that will never be challenged anywhere. We don't want to make something that tomorrow we shall come down to be challenged. So all that is the procedure going through to get the last end. Even Mr. Speaker, you have offered him to be heard. That, Mr. Speaker, will give this House all the rights and safety. The only thing, Mr. Speaker, that I would wish to have something to question myself is Kenya is somehow volatile in different regions. Maybe to some regions, security might be required for public participation. That is the only concern. But I know as we retreat tomorrow to discuss and dialogue, those are a few things we shall go to. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, thank you for that Solomonic wisdom. Thank you very much.
What?
Who is that? Honorable Tim Kipchumba, Wakili. Yes, Timothy? Give him the mic. My clerks, today you are firing blanks. Give Timothy Kipchumba the mic. There's one next to you now, Tim.
This one is too short.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving an opportunity to raise an issue that I wish you to clarify. Honorable Speaker, we need to give the Deputy President a fair hearing. Honorable Speaker, it is on record. As you sit, Honorable Speaker, you are a neutral arbiter in this matter. This chamber sits as a trial chamber and is similar to the High Court pursuant to Article 125
This is not a trial chamber.
of the Constitution.
Tim,
Honorable
the trial
Speaker,
chamber is the Senate.
irrespective of that, as we sit, Honorable Speaker, you are a neutral arbiter in this House. Honorable Speaker, it is on record that you have made a pronunciation or you have known to have taken sides on this matter. Honorable Speaker, as a neutral arbiter, you have expressed yourself on this subject matter together with the Deputy Speaker. Honorable Speaker, so that the Deputy President is given a fair hearing, would it be in order for you and the Deputy Speaker to recuse yourself of this matter? We have a panel of speakers in this House so that the Deputy President can be given a fair hearing before the floor of this House.
Timothy Kipchumba. To begin with, the Speaker here has taken no position. And I want to assure you that on Sunday, the Speaker was invited by the women rep for Machakos to attend a church service. And the priest called Father Vincent based his homily on the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 38 onwards. And the book says that if there are wicked people in society, tie a huge stone around their neck and toss them into the sea. It is not me who said it, it's the book. The book also says, if your right hand makes you to stumble, chop it off. If your left leg makes you to stumble, chop it off. If your left eye makes you to stumble, gouge it out. And all the Speaker said was that the homily was apt and our society should live that way. I am not conflicted in any way. I have no vote in this matter. I have no dog in this fight. And I can assure you the proceedings will proceed in accordance with fairness, the law, the Constitution, and the rules of natural justice. Yes, Ichungwa.
Honorable Speaker, maybe just for information to Honorable Kalasinga, the chair of our Security Committee, the Honorable Tongoyo, has already convened a meeting between the House leadership, Honorable Speaker, and the security agencies tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, to take this opportunity to invite the leadership of the minority, the entire leadership, and that of the majority party. And of course, your Honorable Speaker, you will be chairing that meeting, and the chair and the vice chair of the Security Committee in a meeting with the Inspector General of Police and those other security agencies on the issue that was raised by the member for Kabuchai, because it's a critical issue, Honorable Speaker, as we get into this. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, you've spoken about the book of Acts. Honorable Speaker, I listened to you on Sunday, the book of Mark.
And I listened to you on Sunday, Honorable Speaker, and maybe it's something the Honorable Kipchumba should also have listened to the other bit of what you said on Sunday. That's knocking your head against a wall is not bravado. It is sheer stupidity. Honorable Speaker, I saw the media take that out of context. Just like, Honorable Speaker, a few Sundays ago, Bishop Njiriri of Stewards Church read from the book of Acts 28 that speaks about the viper that was on Paul's hand. And when I also spoke about that viper and how you should shake it off so that you allow your hand to do that which the Lord has purposed to that hand to do. Honorable Speaker, I saw people saying that there are people who had been called snakes. In fact, I have seen some people claiming that they are the snake without anybody calling them a snake. Bishop Njiriri did not write the Bible. The father you have spoken about in Machakos County never wrote the Bible. We are just good Christians who love peace and who love this country. Therefore, let me just finish by telling Honorable Kipchumba, there is no bravado in hitting your head against a wall. It is sheer stupidity, as quoted by the Honorable Speaker Moses Wetangula Esquire.
Yes, Karoli, the last one. Those who want clarifications, we have a full hour tomorrow from 2 hours, in fact, from 12 to 2. We'll give you time. Yes,
Honorable Speaker, I just want to give some comfort to Honorable Kipchumba that if you look at our Constitution, the process that we are undertaking here is equivalent to what in America is called trial by jury. Grand jury, not trial by jury, grand jury. And you're absolutely right. Your role is fairly limited.
Yes.
I do not foresee any occasion where you could show bias or influence us. I think it is a situation where probably somebody misunderstood what happened at the church service. Yes. But the real trial by jury will be in the Senate.
Absolutely.
That is where the real trial will be. Here, we are like you are being indicted by a grand jury.
Yes.
We frame the issues, we leave it there, then the trial takes place elsewhere. I have full faith of your neutrality, at least on this matter. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order. Clerk.
Order number 11, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Amendments Bill, National Assembly Bill number 11 of 2024, second reading.
Who is moving this? Sir George? Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to move that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Amendment Bill, number 11 of 2024, be read a second time. Honorable Speaker, this is a small bill that was brought to this House by the entity known as the NADCO, the National Dialogue Committee. In their deliberations, when they actually retreated to look at what recommendations they would make for better governance of the country. Honorable Speaker, when the bill was brought in draft form, we were informed by NADCO that we would actually not alter the bill, not even a comma, and therefore ours was to ensure that the bill is published, there is public participation, and it is brought here for a second reading. When the bill came after first reading, it was committed to Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, who considered the bill alongside the communication as to what extent we would involve ourselves with the amendment to the bill. The Justice and Legal Affairs Committee made a report which was tabled to this House. It actually agreed with the NADCO on the proposed amendments, save to propose a slight amendment which this House will consider at the third reading, as regards clause 3 of the proposed amendments. Honorable Speaker, this bill proposes to amend in clause 2, section 5 of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2011, which we refer to as the Principal Act. And it proposes that the bill be amended by deleting subsection 1 and substituting, therefore, the following new subsection. The new subsection 1 is going to read as follows. The chairperson of the commission, and the commission here means the Anti-Corruption Commission, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, shall be a person who is qualified to hold the office of a judge of the High Court under the Constitution. In essence, this means that the person to be selected as the chairperson should actually have served as a legal practitioner for 10 years, or a magistrate under the Act, or a person of academic qualifications which meet the threshold of appointment as a judge of the High Court. I wish to confirm to the court that Justice and Legal Affairs Committee agreed with this proposed amendment in view of what we have been receiving from stakeholders regarding the performance of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I regret to inform the House it has not been very commendable, and especially in view of how their cases have been treated by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. When we talk about the commission here for EACC, the commission is the one that executes decisions made by itself. It is not the CEO. Therefore, when it comes to defending decisions before the DPP and elsewhere, it is the commission that actually goes to make that defense. Number 2, economic crimes, and these are the crimes anticipated by the EACC Act, transcend across many laws in the country and internationally. There are very many laws that are involved. So it becomes a bit difficult for a person who is not qualified, a person who does not have knowledge in law, to actually comprehend, especially when it is a mesh where these laws are intertwined and they have to be interpreted. So we are saying, in view of this act which came into force in 2011 after the promulgation of the new constitution, this particular section should actually remain as proposed, that the person to hold that office will have to be qualified for appointment as a judge. Then we have clause 2, a proposal to amend, so that when clause 1 comes into force, then clause 2 would protect the person holding the office for the remainder of the period of that period of the term of that office holder. We did not have any particular problem with this, save that it is clear in our laws, cardinal principles of legality cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. Number 2, there is no point in guaranteeing which cannot be executed otherwise. Clause 3, which deals section 2, actually deals with an accrued right of the chairperson holding the position now. That person has a contract which cannot be terminated through this legislation or any other legislation. The fact remains, the person will serve for the remainder of the contract before it comes to an end. So our only problem with this clause was what would happen once that person serves the remainder of the contract period. Section 2 would become a dead letter law. It would not be protecting anyone else from that period until this act is repealed. So we asked ourselves, is there any need of legislating on what we would consider in legal terms as obvious? Because you cannot interfere with this contract until it comes to an end. And that is the fact in law. So we proposed as follows, that we delete that section so that it does not remain in our statute books after the chairperson completes the term, whatever number of years are remaining. It would thus be a tidy statute which does not have any dead letter provision in it. The assurance is that under our laws, which laws are wide, whether Commonwealth, whether our own practice here, laws of equity, principles of equity, you cannot interfere with an individual's accrued right unless that person consents or agrees to the interference. Therefore, the position of the chairman is actually secured until the term is over, after which then the rest of it will kick as per clause 1. So, in brief, we are saying, let us allow clause 1, clause 2, which proposes to amend section 5(1), but we can delete clause 3, which proposes to amend section 2, so that we do not have to keep this provision in our laws after the term of the chairperson in office expires. May I make it very clear as I conclude that the current chairperson need not be worried. He is protected by the law. All the laws protect him, the laws on contract, the laws of employment, the laws of equity, the doctrines of equity, and even our common law practice. He is protected, he's not targeted. But let's make it very clear that every Kenyan is looking upon the EACC to deliver on corruption cases. This is why we are putting the standard on the chairmanship to be quite high, so that that person can answer on issues of law where these come into play. Today, the commission may not have any advocate apart from a cutlery of qualified advocates in the staff. These do not sit in the commission, and when the commission is called upon to go and defend itself, sometimes it may be difficult for the commissioners to express themselves as lawyers. Therefore, we do propose that clause 2, which amends section 5, be allowed by the House, and also the House agreed with us, in spite of the provisions in the NADECO report, that we should not touch any provision. We do convince this House that clause 3, which amends section 2, would soon become dead letter law. With those remarks, I beg to move and I request the Deputy Majority Leader to second this. Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this, and also to thank the committee for a job well done in looking at that law. Honorable Speaker, it is very important that progressively as a democracy, we need to review the laws and also look at how the functioning of the law that has been in place has impacted either positively or negatively on the country. And therefore, a review of the Ethics and Integrity Act that we have here today is very important, especially to look at the qualifications of the office bearers, especially at that high level. Honorable Speaker, I think it has been seen that there is an issue in having a non-lawyer or a non-advocate to serve as chairman, and it has had repercussions on the commission. And therefore, it is very important that we look at that and see, probably, when we put somebody with credentials in law, somebody who is qualified as a judge of the High Court, to be the chairman of the Ethics and Integrity Commission in this country, we are raising the bar, and actually saying that we are serious about fighting corruption in this country by ensuring that we have a board that has people that qualify to sit there. Because the work of the commission is usually nitty-gritties of law that spread across many. So as you chair that board, Honorable Speaker, it is very important that the chairperson, the person sitting to chair the board, has the prerequisite qualifications to ensure that he can conduct board meetings and is able to follow through whatever is happening. Honorable Speaker, I want to support the Honorable Murungara on the issue that although the current chairman may not have those qualifications and assist there, because we know he's a man of integrity, we know he's a man that can be counted for to stand for this organization and for Kenya, and to ensure that the fight against corruption in this country is taken to the next level. And we have tremendous respect for him. But the law provides that as long as he still sits on the board, we'll allow him to finish his term, and so that as the law kicks in, the new law kicks in, he can now pave way for a new chairman. So I want to assure the Commission that there will be no disruption as we approve this law, but it is important that progressively as our country, we look at the laws, we look at what needs to be done to farm the law so that we are at the forefront of fighting corruption, and fighting corruption with a board that has the prerequisite legal requirements to actually fight. But I also want to thank the Commission that is there for the job that they are doing. I think for the moment, I think Kenya, in terms of fighting corruption, we have had high-profile cases go to court. We have had high-profile investigations going on, and I think a good job is being done at the Commission. I also want to thank the current CEO who is there for steering this organization and taking it away from politics and ensuring that it's doing some professional work. And therefore, I stand to second and ask members to support this amendment so that as going forward, we strengthen the Commission and make sure that it has teeth to bite and also take Kenya to the next level in terms of fighting corruption. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 11 of 2024, be read a second time. Yes, Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm looking at the clock, and I'm not sure we can exhaustively debate it, but I want to have a go at it, and maybe if you will allow me to have a first bite when it comes up for debate. Actually, Madam Speaker, I rise to oppose this amendment. I rise to oppose it because I don't think it is well aligned with the structure, the legislative structure of the Commission and the provisions of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act. Madam Speaker, let me begin by giving some examples of the most efficient and effective anti-corruption agencies in the world. Number one is the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau of Singapore. And Singapore is always rated as the least corrupt country in the world. That particular agency, as a matter of fact, is headed by a senior police officer, not a man with the qualifications of a judge of a high court. The second most efficient anti-corruption agency in the world, and a country known for least corruption, is Sweden. And they have the National Anti-Corruption Police Unit, headed by a police officer. Why am I doing so? Because the idea behind this proposal for amendments is that EACC is not able to conduct effective investigations because they do not have a legal mind heading it. That is, nothing could be further from the truth. The commission, the Australian National Anti-Corruption Commission, is headed by a judge, but for a very specific reason. But now, let's go specifically to the Anti-Corruption Act that we have in Kenya. If you look at Section 7.2 of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Act, the commissioners, which is the chairperson, and the members actually serve on a part-time basis. They are not full-time employees of the commission. So to try and appropriate inefficiencies to them is actually to miss the point. They are part-time employees of the commission. That is Section 7.2 of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. How that affects the work of the commission should have been the focus of any proposed amendments. Secondly, if you look at the mandate of the EACC, it is broader than criminal investigations. Look at the functions of EACC. They are much, much broader than investigations. There's suppression, there's detection, there's public awareness, all those issues. There is no particular reason why a judge should, on a part-time basis, head a commission. Thirdly, in this country, we don't have a Criminal Investigation Act. And as a matter of fact, I've proposed that we enact a Criminal Investigations Act. Because we don't know the standards of the investigators, the qualifications of investigators. We don't know their training. This is where the problem is. It is not with the person heading the EACC Commission. We do not have a Criminal Investigation Act. If we had a Criminal Investigation Act that stipulates how criminal investigations are to be conducted, that empowers the investigators, be they DCI or EACC, with the sufficient power and tools they need to investigate corruption crimes, there would be no problem with the EACC. If you go further and you look at the functions of the commissioners under the current act, what are they? Policy formulation, ensuring performance of the staff, providing strategic direction, strategic linkages and partnerships, and internal discipline. Why do you need a judge to discharge those functions?
I think, Honorable Karori, time is up, but
thank you.
I think what we'll do is tomorrow you will be able to, you'll have a balance of 6 minutes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
you'll be the first to give
Thank you,
a
Honorable
go
Speaker.
at it. Thank you. So, honorable members, the time being 7 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, 2nd October 2024 at 9:30 a.m.